Hello, my name is Celine LeBron, and today we're going to talk about the science behind why that song is stuck in your head. So, first question, have you ever had a song that's been stuck in your head and just like won't go away? Whether it's an old song, I don't know, a theme song, your new favorite song, um, that's what we call an earworm. So, now today I'll be explaining why earworms happen, what's going on in the brain when they do, and it's potentially how to get rid of them. Now, while they can be annoying or maybe funny, depending on the song replaying in your head, they actually reveal a lot about how the brain connects emotion, memory, and sound. So, let's begin with what earworms are. Earworms are short snippets of music that involuntarily play in your head, meaning without your consent, no permission to play two, three times of the same chorus, and typically they're around 15 to 30 seconds long. So, they're also universal, so it does not matter what your taste in music is. And the name actually comes from a German word, Ohrwurm, sorry, meaning musical itch. That word was coined together by a psychiatrist going by the name of Cornelius Epker. Now, while we know what they are, let's look at what makes songs sticky. So, things like repetition and simplicity, simple, catchy, repetitive phrases, patterns that can go ahead and make the song super easy to just loop back into your head. And emotional connections, so songs that are tied to nostalgia, happiness, sadness, any type of strong connection like to that song would make that song reloop in your head also. Recency and familiarity, recently hearing the song like replay over and over, familiar tunes that are already like ingrained in your head can also make it more prone to looping. Musical traits, sustained notes, longer notes, small intervals, and smooth melodies. Also, having an emotional charge, whether it is positive or negative, would make that song stick in your head. Now, moving on, when do earworms occur more often? So, more than often, they can find earworms. Earworms would be discovered in people who go through things like OCD, PTSD, anxiety. Stress or anxiety are both high emotions that can go ahead and actually trigger these loops as well. Also, another time that it can happen is when you're bored, daydreaming, and kind of like just in those idle moments. And we all have them. So don't feel out of place or anything. Now, what's interesting is people with OCD are more like common to happen. The tendency is higher for it to happen with people who have OCD, and people who have attention deficiencies, actually it happens less. Fewer earworms happen to those people. So, why does the brain latch onto these songs? Let's take a peek inside of the brain to see what happens. So, these are the brain systems involved. We have here in the front the auditory cortex. It processes music. Then we have the hippocampus down here in the front. It is involved, the brain system is involved in memory encoding and retrieval. Back here we have the phonological loop, and that keeps sound-based info active. I'm assuming what keeps the sound information, remembers the sound, and keeps it in that loop to be able to create these earworms. Now, down here is the amygdala. It is assigned for emotional importance, whether negative or positive. So, now, how can we get rid of them? This has personally worked for me. I personally experienced, I think it was maybe a week or 2 weeks, where almost every morning, like, I had a song stuck in my head. I had an earworm, now that I can actually define it. And actually listening to the whole song, like, completed the loop and made the song kind of just go away. So, that's one way to do it. Another way to get rid of them is distracting yourself with puzzles, tasks, or talk radio, replacing the tune with another piece of music, which I find kind of like silly advice, but I guess if it works, it works. Just replacing one song with the other. Chewing gum, cool fact that I learned, oddly disrupts auditory memory. Pretty cool. And sometimes just the best solution overall that's recommended is to just be mindful, and mindfulness will allow the earworm to just play itself out. So let's wrap it up and see what we've learned. So we've learned that earworms are short loops of music that almost everyone experiences. And now you know the term and definition of something you've probably experienced. They usually come from songs that are repetitive, familiar, or emotional. They often appear when we are bored, daydreaming, or stressed. They involve in brain areas that handle memory, attention, and emotion. Emotion is very important in music, I find. And we can also manage earworms by finishing the song, distracting ourselves, replacing it with another song, or chewing gum. So, now if you walk away from this talk with a song looping in your head, don't blame me anymore. Don't blame me for bringing it up. Blame your brain. And after all, that is just to show how earworms work. And at least it means that, you'll never forget what we spoke about here today. And in my works cited, I have here one of the few articles that I went over. I went over 3 articles to kind of retain a lot of information and sources to present this to you guys and talk to y'all about it. So my first work cited was from themedium.com. It's an article titled Musical Earworms, the Science Behind That Song Stuck in Your Head. My second source goes out to Harvard EDU, and the article was titled Why That Song Is Stuck in Your Head. And then my third one was from University of Cincinnati, and it was an article that I found interesting, the scientific reason songs get stuck in your head. So again, thank you. Keep those earworms in mind, literally, when you go ahead and experience that again, and this little TED Talk that we had. Thank you again.